Shima'ini Petlutu Shima'ini Yashi Shima'ini Shibut Adi Drapshi Uruk Shima'ini Yashi Anakku anak Enkidu Idriyabaki Kima Lalariki Unambasarti Hasin ahia tuklat idia namsar shipia aitu shakonia luba isanatia nibish Lale Sharu Lemnu Itba Itikma Shaninduma Nilu Shada Nisbatuma Ala Niyal Nushalpitu Humba Shaira Kishti Ashbu
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Children of the Cup. I am your DMGM storyteller, whichever you like to call me, Forgotten Dreams, and I am joined by a lovely cast of people, starting off with, Azzy.
Hello, my name is Sira, and I'm playing. Who am I playing? Cecilia of Montfort, and that is Simish.
Awesome. Next up, we have Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay. I will be playing Serafino of the clan La Sombra.
All right. Next up, where we would usually leave off, we would say, next up is Seth. But we won't be leaving off there today. As you may notice, we have a new member. So, Seth, who are you?
Wait,
Yes,
Mel
you,
goes first, right?
you go first. You go first.
I go first. Oh, hello, my name is Sephorio, and I'll be playing a corpse today.
Yay. Hopefully not
Easiest
a
role.
permanent corpse. We'll see, though. We'll see, you know. The cards are
Please
still out on that
no.
one. And of course, Roll20 has slightly broken the overlay, but that's okay. I'm fixing it. And last but not least, the newest member to the party. Why don't you introduce yourself, our new person? And who are you going to be
yes.
playing?
I'm Mel, and I will be playing Chimeg, and I am an Anda.
Fantastic. And you might be going, wait, what's an Anda? You'll find out. It's a fun clan. So, with our recap for this evening, we are going to be calling upon the dead of the party to do our recap. So, Seth, why don't you take it away?
As Ajala lies there, over the shoulder probably of Cecilia, inside his currently half-conscious / unconscious mind, not being able to move or do anything, he's like, how the fuck did I get here? Well, that's very easy. Since last week, on last episode, lacking a J, Cecilia and Ajala eventually converged on the same alleyway where they had basically done in a certain duke after Ajala had bitten someone in the alleyway. Basically, this alleyway is starting to become a bit of a thing. But yeah, after defeating an elder vampire there, they basically this time got fucked up by an elder vampire there. Mainly Ajala did. And he's in torpor now. So yeah, help me. I think that sort of sums up last week, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think
No.
that very much sums up exactly what happened last week. I mean, there were some extra details in there, but the only thing I'd add to that is with only 2 of them available for the night, and with Serafino going off to do some research in a local library he had just gained access to, the party decided their best solution was kidnap the girl. And upon learning that the girl was guarded by at least 6 other individuals, they still decided, fuck it, spring the ambush and still kidnap the girl. Or
No. Cecilia said she was gonna talk.
this is
I
true.
was gonna
Those
talk.
people.
This is true. You said you were going to talk through the ambush. How well did that go, Cecilia?
Cecilia is fine.
This is
That much is true. Absolutely true. Yeah.
yeah.
Cecilia's perfectly fine.
Surprisingly, Cecilia in combat managed to dodge and nope the fuck out the entire time. Ajala not so much after jumping off of a rooftop and trying to stab someone in the back like he previously did, but this time you didn't get 14 successes.
I just want to say that that tiles on roofs have a higher hit chance on Cecilia than this vampire.
Yeah,
All
I should
right.
have slipped, shouldn't I? Yeah.
There are a lot of things I think you should have done in retrospect, but hindsight is 2020. Bringing us in, though, we watch as Cecilia sleeks through the various different alleyways, trying to... Oh, yes.
2021,
What did I say?
2020.
Jesus Christ. I'm stuck a year
COVID.
back.
COVID.
COVID has messed me up, man. All right, moving on. So, Cecilia, you're slinking through the alleyways with an unconscious Ajala over your shoulders. You've already gone in and done what little you could to make the body normalized. there's still the problem of he's unconscious, and as much as you want to weekend at Bernie's this, you figure it'd be easier to just spend as little time as possible in the sight of everyone. Eventually making your way to the residence of Eleanor's and also the shop of Eleanor's, as it is right across the street, making your way up the stairs and knocking on the door. From what you could immediately see, there are a few lights inside the house that are on. However, the shop is completely barren, so I figure you go for the house instead.
Yeah.
You knock and you wait. And you can hear, coming from inside, the light sound of something grinding. It sounds like stone grinding on stone. That stops, and then eventually there's the light pitter-patter of feet, which you only pick up because of your heightened senses. Until eventually you hear from the other side of the door, "Who is it?"
Open up, it's Ayala. He's wounded.
Oh! The door quickly opens, and you are greeted by a semi-familiar face in the fact that you've seen her once or twice, but not much. She is currently heavily dressed in what looks like quite a few cloaks, like someone who's looking for warmth. There's a heavily heated fireplace coming from inside, and even though it's a warm night, she is sweating profusely. She doesn't seem to be bothered by it. Her gray hair kind of spilling out beneath the cloaks, and her missing teeth, shining as she looks up at you and squints for a moment. "Who are you? Ajala?"
Cecilia's like trying to push forward into the house with Ayala
Sure.
next to it.
Absolutely. You don't even have to make
Need
a
a
check.
table.
You quickly push your way in. And you come into a bit of a ramshackled mess. There's various different preserved bags of clay that are off to one side of her home. A small bit of really just hay and bedding that's sort of been ramshackled into one other corner that you figure she sleeps in. There is a central table where there is somewhat of a kitchen as you enter into the home, but you can see it's got a number of different completed and unfinished pottery that she's been working on, and that is the only table available. And there are a few stools here and there, and a few bags of rice and things like that in another corner, but other than a workstation and a fireplace, not much else is here.
Cecilia's pushing towards the table then when she sees it,
Mhm.
and then says, "Are you alone, or is someone else in this house?"
She closes the door behind her. I am alone. I live alone.
Lock the door.
Very well. She locks the door behind her and turns. I'm confused. What happened?
And Cecilia places Ayala on the table and then turns towards her. A lot of things happened. First of all, what did Ayala tell you? How much do you know
About what?
about him?
He's a very sweet boy, fantastic at his job. What happened, though?
He told you nothing. Oh, this is going to be annoying. All right. And she looks around and take in this whole home. It's like, do you have a cellar?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And she quickly rushes over and past you and the table, and you can see where she's got a grinding stone as well as a setup wheel for turning her pottery. She quickly begins pushing that over, and underneath the grinding stone, there is actually a trap door that she quickly unlocks and opens, and there's a dank cellar beneath.
How large is it?
Not very large. I usually keep it as, really a larder. But there should be enough space for maybe a person to fit.
All right, that's good at least. Do you have a cup?
Yes, actually, I have many. She quickly goes over and grabs a few of her completed pottery pieces. One of them actually is what looks like to be a couple of homemade mugs. And she picks one of those up and hands it over to you.
All right. Don't be alarmed, she says, and she pulls out
What
her
happened
knife.
to him?
He has been wounded, and then she starts cutting a little along his arm and starts
Whoa, what are you doing?
push blood into the cup.
What?
I'm gonna explain. You need to keep calm. Adjala is not who you think he
You're
is.
hurting
He's-
him.
It must be done, otherwise he will die.
Make me. This is gonna be. Ooh, interesting. Definitely. Charisma, empathy.
That is a good start, because this is going to turn very soon into something else. Charisma, empathy.
Yes.
All right.
Don't hurt my
Difficulty
goal.
6.
I mean, I'm a bit.
I think
stressed.
Eleanor might not make it through the night, if I'm honest, Ajala, so we'll see. 4 successes. There's a visible
You
look
said
of
DC6,
confusion.
right?
Yeah, difficulty 6. What difficulty did you have it at?
I did put it on that.
Okay, great. So yeah, there's visible confusion over her face as to what exactly you're doing. But as you begin to talk and try and calm her down, she does, in fact, say, "Well, if it's for the best, I don't understand what you're doing. Then again, I'm not a medical person. Shouldn't we take him to a doctor? I can go get a doctor. I know where a doctor is.
No,
There's
you
one
can't
just
tell
down.
anyone.
Is he in trouble with the guard?
Not with the guard, with something worse.
Something worse than the guard. He pissed off the sheriff? And now the sheriff is sending, what, his goons after him?
No, it's more complicated than that. Just be quiet for 2 seconds, and she pushes out some more blood into the cup,
Okay.
like 1 blood point.
Okay.
I
you
hope
one
Adjala
blood
has
point for
1
me?
blood point. So be pushed out.
Ajala, that is actually what I was about to ask. Ajala, how many blood points do you have left?
Well, if she pushes out 1, only 10.
Okay. That's
Okay.
low, but it's not horribly low. So, okay.
All right, and she takes up the cup and looks at it, all right, this is going to be hard to explain, because Adjala should have explained this to you a long time ago, at least somewhat. So he has told you nothing about what he does?
He is a fantastic guard,
was trying to
a
find
very
her.
sweet boy, and I don't understand what. Why are you pouring his cup into blood into a cup?
All right, and she still has the cover for face. I am Adjala's friend, but I'm not your friend, meaning that I might kill you if you are not doing exactly what I tell you to do.
You can see her instinct is, as she takes 2 steps back towards the door, is to try and get away from the situation as quickly as possible. I need you. Let's see here. Hopefully you have some charisma intimidation on you, because that's what I'm going to need as a roll. Difficulty
We
6.
can see if I have it. I don't think my charisma specialization will help me. I have a captivating voice. I'm not sure if that's going to be positive or negative at this moment.
How captivating in what sense?
I could see an argument that your captivating voice could definitely, enthrall her as you speak with these threatening words. So yeah, we'll argue that you do in fact get 3 successes instead of 2. All right, and that is plenty. As you notice, her muscles begin to tense, almost as if she is locked there in fear.
Right. First off, you need to drink this, and she gives over the cup. She still holds it because she wants her to she holds the cup still.
Why would I drink his blood?
Because I tell you to.
And there's a moment where she looks as though she's going to tell you off more, but then realizes that you did just threaten to kill her. So she, with quivering hands, she takes the cup and looks down at it. You're sick. And she begins to drink.
Yeah, I guess I am. When I see that she starts drinking it, she turns back to Adjala, looks over his body to see that's no lingering. I mean, she has not seen that many torpid vampires. She's read about it in the medical book. She's looking that it looks correct.
Wits and medicine. Sure.
Yeah. With her limited, she has not seen much of this.
The corpse looks like a dead body, basically.
But like, is it degrading more? I don't know. Maybe there are things. No specialization.
Okay. Wow. That is you were rolling constantly. All right. So,
Yeah.
let's see here. With 2 successes, I mean, it looks like a corpse, but it's not turning to ash if Children of the Cup turn to ash. So, you're on the good side now. You hope.
Maybe?
Maybe.
All right. Are you finished with
maybe.
that cup yet? She turns back.
You can see that a bit of it has sort of dribbled down the side of her chin, but for the most part, yeah, it's empty now.
It tasted good, didn't it?
I don't know why, and I don't understand why, but yes, and no, that's horrible. What was the point of
Alright.
this?
What do you think about Adiala now? Look at him.
He's a Chala. He's a very, very sweet man. He takes care of me. He guards my shop. He guards my things. What do you?
Would you sacrifice your life to save him?
Of course, he is a good man. I do not understand why you constantly harm him.
Oh, that's good. I don't constantly harm him.
All you have done is come into my home with Ajala, unconscious and badly hurt, and you have hurt him.
Yeah, and I also saved him. This is the thing that you need to
How
understand.
have you saved him?
Because I brought him somewhere where he can be placed. You need to take care of this. All right, come here. Come over here. Come over here. Look at Adiala. Do you feel a pulse?
Oh, that's all right. You take her hand, presumably, because it looks like she's going to go and reach out. However, she has that her hands are quivering, and you just grab onto her hand and push it forward, where you would check for a pulse. And for a moment, she sits there and goes, "I mean, I'm not really. No, I don't feel a pulse. He's dead."
He's not dead. He is what I am. And then she takes the fingers of her and put her on her own and be on like that. Can you feel my pulse?
Underneath Cecilia's merits, does she have? I believe you all have Blush of Health.
I don't have blush,
Autumn-
but you have it automatically, right? I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not have a pulse.
Okay, so you're gonna will yourself to not have a pulse in the moment.
Yes.
As you put your fingers there, and she waits for a moment and says, "How do you not have a pulse? This is irritating me now."
All right, good. Now you can understand. He and me, we are similar. You can see us as siblings or something. The
Siblings, you
point
don't
is,
even look
no
alike.
one
He's-
can know.
Okay.
So you can't tell anyone that Adiala is in this house and that he has no pulse.
Why isn't he awake but you are then?
Because he was wounded. And then she like reveals the woundings he has gotten. Like he's crushed. I don't know if bones are sticking out because I did push
No,
them back.
you've pushed all of them back in place. You've essentially gone through and stitched up Ajala as best you could, using I believe Transmogrify the Mortal Clay. So
Yeah, that's true.
for the most part, he doesn't look injured, aside from a few cuts and bruises on his skin where the bone was once sticking out. However, you've meticulously gone through and replaced the bones back in their appropriate areas.
Okay, then she would say this, that she like starting to reveal them. Simply like this. They are more people like us, and one of the other people did hurt him really, really a lot. So now he's going to be unconscious for a while. For a long while, and I don't know how long.
Is there anything we can do?
I will have to go and try to find a way, but I need to know that he is safe.
Well, of course he would be safe here, but... Fine,
Alright.
fine. You say I cannot go get a healer to fix this? Fine, I won't. I won't get the guards. I won't do any of that. I'll make sure he stays here, and I will make sure to take care of him while he is here. I won't tell anyone he's here. Just explain. What is he? What are you?
I hope you didn't have a plan, Adiala. She doesn't look to... Yeah, I'm a person, I'm a monster in the night, just as he. And then she fills out her fangs and like takes a stranglehold on her
Oh,
and
okay.
like pushes her to the wall.
All right, go ahead and
Fine.
let's have you make me a
Fear is
strength
a good
brawl.
entry. Strength brawl, but I'm
Against the old woman?
Yes, against the old
I'm-
woman. It's only difficulty
I'm-
1.
strength and brawl and
Difficulty 1. Yeah.
difficulty 1.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
that is
Alright.
actually wrong. It should be 4. I have forgotten that I'm not pumped anymore.
Ah, okay.
So it's 4.
Fantastic. 4 successes. There you go. Also, if Cecilia would please get off the steroids for a moment and correct your character sheet.
Yeah, I have done that now.
All right. So you go ahead and you push her against the wall, and you have a firm grip on her.
Yeah, and the reason that she takes the throat is if she starts screaming, she can like make this no sound comes out.
You can definitely tell there is the impulse to scream. However, she seems like for a moment she lets out an eek, but it's quickly quieted by her own fear.
Adiala has spent the last nights feeding you his blood to make you like him more. In a
He
good
would never
way.
do that. He would never do that. He would never do that. He's a sweet boy. He would never do such a thing.
Tell you whatever you want, but this is the reason. There's some rules, and I don't have time to explain more to you yet. I can explain more later, but these are the rules. You cannot tell anyone about me or about him. You have to keep him in your home and not tell anyone that he's here. And you need to keep him away from sunlight. If sunlight touches his skin, he will die.
Okay. All right.
If you break any one of these rules or try to do
You'll
something
kill me,
rash,
right? Yeah. Okay, I
I
get
will
it.
also
I get
kill
it.
him. I will also kill
Why?
him.
Why would you kill him? Why? What has he done to you?
Because it must be kept a secret and keep you motivated. He's my friend, but if it keeps you motivated, I will just tell I will kill him too. And then she drops her.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have time for you anymore. Now take care of him, make sure he doesn't see sunlight, and I will be back later. And then she just starts storming to the door.
All right, you storm out. And there's just an air of visible and emotional confusion that you leave behind as you storm out the door. Where are you headed?
As she comes out, the first she's like, I'm so hungry. I could have eaten her so easily. Okay, I need food. Because Cecilia is close
You say
to...
you need food, and there are dozens of people walking by of various different smells. Cecilia does have her heightened senses up at the moment. So you begin to almost, as you get out into the open streets, taste everyone who walks by. You can tell the ones who haven't bathed recently, the ones who have, the ones who even have perfumes on. And there's a familiar smell in here.
Serafino?
You look over to your left, and you can see Serafino making his way down the road in the direction of the... I'm going to would you be headed towards the Painted Lady, or would you be headed towards
The
Slaughtered
widow
Ox.
something. The slaughtered ox. Yeah, the painted lady.
Okay. So you watch as he passes by your street in the direction of going towards the Painted Lady.
All right. You see that? Perfect. And then she starts moving towards Serafino,
Mhm.
trying to catch. She doesn't shout out, but she's not trying to hide, and she's having a high pace.
Okay, absolutely. Serafino, go ahead and make me a perception alertness roll.
As you are being stormed by an angry Cecilia.
Your instinct is to turn around and expect to be slapped.
Difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6, yeah. One success. You hear something odd behind you, but you kind of brush it aside as there is a number of, or there are a number of different people moving past you, many of them talking quite loudly, and you kind of brush it off. Maybe someone's just, shuffling through the crowd. Nothing to be concerned about, and Cecilia, it's about that time that you arrived directly behind him. He didn't get very far before you managed to catch up with him.
Then I was like, Serafino, you need to speak.
Hi, what's wrong?
Everything. Come here. And she just go towards the closest alleyway she sees.
You quickly dip into an alleyway in between the pottery shop and a bread bakery store.
So what happened?
Adyala has been wounded and he's entered a state of torpor. He's
So
not
he's-
waking up.
He's almost
Right away.
dead.
Yes, he's almost dead, but I think he will make it, but I don't... There was more of these really old and powerful vampire, kindreds. Yeah, at the, the shop we went to before, the alleyway.
Yeah.
And Adyala was beaten to pulp by one of them,
Oh god.
or crushed like a tomato.
Let me see if I can remember anything about torpor.
All right, absolutely. Make me a wits occult. Difficulty for this is going to be, we'll put it as 7. As your head is currently flooded with a bunch of information from the various different books that you've been skimming through over the night, you suddenly have to break your line of thought and go into the occult knowledge that you do have of the vampiric kind with one success. You know
The
that
basics.
torpor can last for an extremely long time or a relatively short time. You don't know what causes that, but yeah. I mean, you haven't exactly had a whole lot of experience with torpored people around you and dealing with them. And the one time that you would have had a chance to deal with such a thing, you weren't there either, and it didn't go so well for the torpored victim, at least from what your party members told you.
Yeah. I don't know. It can last a long time. So what are you thinking about doing?
I don't know. I was hoping that you would say, "Oh, we have a solution," but you probably know as much as I do that this is...
I've been at the library all night. My head is a bit tired, but I can go back and try to look for something.
Did you find anything about the curse? That's also a problem still. And I don't even know if that's gonna accelerate or being on pause now when he's unconscious.
That is a very good question. Did I find anything good about the curse?
This is going to be, go ahead and make a retroactive intelligence occult difficulty 5 for the access to the library.
Nice.
That is the role I have been looking for a long time. All right. So, with your research in the library, what you've been able to discover is it's not really a curse. It's a drug. Simply put, those who consume Kisseid blood are, in a way, drugged by the Fey-like ancestry within their veins. And it can spread to other individuals. It's rare, but it can. In this particular case, you think that perhaps the tattoo was an amplifier of some sort. Maybe this individual is used in certain rituals. You're not sure exactly which kinds, but definitely blood rituals, to amplify such a thing. And that's why Cecilia had the mark transferred onto her and also had the dreams. That's the information you've been able to gather so far, but it will fade with time from what you've been able to read.
Okay. So basically, Ajala consumed Cassiad blood, which is a drug, and it spreads to other individuals. It's done through blood rituals, but the tattoo, it might have been an amplifier. That's why you had the mark transferred onto your body, and also the dreams. But good news is, it will fade away with time.
So no permanent.
No
effect.
problem.
No damage.
Not permanent. It might last a while, but it's not permanent.
Well, that is wonderful news. That is the only good news I've heard for a week.
It's about at this time that you hear the slightly odd sound of a jingling bell, and you realize it's the sound of either a cowbell or a dog with a very loud collar. You turn to the noise, and you can actually see that Canis is coming out of the other end of this alleyway. Her eyes, of course, glowing red, and held within her jaw are slips of paper, parchment, neatly sealed, and she happily wags her tail as she sees the two of you, and quickly begins making her way towards you. And you notice she does have a new collar. Someone has collared her.
Did she allow someone to do that?
You would assume
Collar. A
Hi,
collar.
Canis. Why'd you have a collar?
so. She quickly places the pieces of parchment at your feet.
What is this? Thank you.
And then
I'll pick them up.
she takes off without a word, without even a bark. She quickly makes her way back in the direction of the new gate.
Let me read what's on this paper.
Okay, you can see that it's 3 immaculately sealed pieces of parchment, and it has a eerily familiar symbol. It's the same symbol you were all branded with, encrusted within the wax of the seal.
Oh, wow.
And on the
So
front
it's-
of the parchment, it simply reads Bartholomew. Yes, there are 3 of them.
Oh, 3 symbols. It says
Right.
Bartholomew. But that's it?
Would you like to go ahead and open it here?
No. Should we open it inside? Or here?
Yeah, we should probably go to a room.
Inside.
We go to the painted lady.
Okay.
Adiala is safe where he is now. His ghoul is, well, under some stress because I told her about Kindred somewhat.
Oh, God.
Well, I didn't really say Kindred, but I said monster. I tried to be. He had told her nothing. He has been ghouling her for how long now?
3 weeks? I don't know. Alright, let's go back.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So the 2 of you make your way, presumably to the painted lady, and up to the rooms that you do have available to you. Do you all gather in one room, or? And if so, which
Yeah.
one?
I guess
Mhm.
Cecilia's working first, so it will be Cecilia's room because
Okay.
that's how she...
You go ahead and make your way into Cecilia's room, closing the door behind you, and you are once again greeted with the familiar sight of your room. One thing, Cecilia, you would notice is that as you open the door, just a little less than a foot inside, is a small silver necklace with a wooden cross on it.
On the floor?
On the floor, yes, as if someone had slid it underneath the door.
Alright, she stops in front of it. It's like, what is this now? And then she, come in, and don't step on the cross.
Okay.
Then she closes the door, and then she will inspect it if it looks. It's just looking at this similar cross someone has slid it over, nothing else.
Exactly as it described. It's a silver chain necklace, and it has a wooden cross attached to it.
Do you know anything bad that can happen when touching crosses? People slide under your door.
If it's an idol, it might be very bad. It might actually burn your flesh and bone off.
I
Kind of
don't
like
want
holy
that.
water.
As you say that, Serafino, your mind is brought instantly back to the moments early in your second life as you dipped your hand in holy water and also tried to take communion. The searing pain you had almost forgotten at this point, but for a moment it briefly flashes a phantom pain in your mind.
Maybe I can try to pick it up with a piece of cloth and just put it somewhere so it's not on the floor.
No, I will just do something. And she takes a hair and pull it out, and then she drops it on it to see if something happens.
Nothing happens.
Then she will. Then she takes the left hand and the little finger, and then just touch it really fast to see if it hurts.
All right, absolutely. Like trying to poke a snake.
Is the stove on?
Yeah.
You go ahead and you poke this chain and cross very quickly as one can get away with. You aren't burned.
It's probably fine. Then she picks it up.
You pick it up, and as you do, you kind of turn it in your hand to bring it up to look at you, and you can see that there's a tiny bee etched into the back end of the cross.
Also a gift, I guess, from him.
From
Love.
Bartholomew?
Yeah, it's his bee on it.
So we have a cross from that says B and some parchment that has Bartholomew. All right, let's see what this is about. And I'll open the parchment.
You open up one of the parchments and go ahead and unfold it, and it reveals to you that Bartholomew is he's very pleased that you have been doing well, at least from the reports that he has gotten from Jerusalem, that you haven't died or been seriously injured in any of your recent endeavors. He's also glad that you've somewhat seemed to maneuver around the political landscape that he placed you in, and he apologizes that he left without any real word aside from the fact that he was going to find more children. And possibly even find your true sires. However, he now sends word that he has found another child, and he will be bringing them to you very soon. Also, he'd like you to know that the last spotting of the old man is actually now in Egypt.
Okay, so good news, nothing's wrong. Bad news, Bartholomew is not here, so we can't ask him about Ajala. More good news, we have a new friend that is going to be joining us.
All right. Is that
And he went to
one more?
He went to pick her up. And on other good
is he coming
news,
soon?
he said it would take a while. I don't know if he's coming soon. It might take a
Looking
couple of
over
days.
the parchment, it looks like it's been dated for a month ago that he would have sent this.
So this was from a month ago, so he must be almost here.
All right. Let's check the next part.
More good news. The old man was spotted in Egypt, so I might be off the hook.
That is good.
And all thanks to you, Cecilia, for changing me.
But was the letter from 1 month ago?
Yeah, it's in the back.
Old man is all right. Cecilia looks confused, but okay.
Go ahead and make me a wits investigation, Cecilia.
All right. For some reason, I can't. There it is.
Zero
I'm just
successes.
confused.
Yeah, no, you're just confused. You're not entirely sure what he's talking about.
All right. So I shall explain. I think I can explain. I'm guessing
take
this
it away,
is the old man
absolutely.
that was chasing me, the priest.
No comment. Maybe, maybe not.
All right.
What does the next one say?
Let me try to remember then.
All right, wits investigation.
I think I know who this is about.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 6. 3 successes. Serafino, as the words leave your mouth, that you think it might be the bishop from Durham that he may be speaking on, you quickly realize that's not who he's talking about. No, it's rumored that the individual who turned you all, the individual who gave you the cup, or I should say the embrace of the cup, is an older gentleman, possibly with Italian origin, or maybe Sicilian origin. It's not entirely clear. And Bartholomew has, not only one of his goals is to find new children of the cup who have been turned without their knowledge, but also to hunt down and question your true sire.
Okay, so this old man might be our true sire.
Let's
Do you
check
remember
that
now?
parchment.
Okay. Shall open it.
You open up the next piece of parchment, and it's dated from, 2 weeks ago. It tells you that so far, the new companion that he's bringing to Jerusalem is very interesting. She's, and it does say she, is quite spirited, strong-willed, arrogant, but it's going to be fun for you to teach her. He does apologize that he's going to be dropping her off, as he would rather simply, as he did with you, send her to the manor and have her have a formal education. But if it's true that the rumors that he's been hearing about the old man in Egypt, he thinks it'd be best to simply drop her off and leave her to you to train, as you've done so well so far. He is worried, though, as he has recently passed by a few villages and towns in northern Syria, only to find large amounts of Turkish troops amassing, and mysteriously some of them are dying off in particularly odd ways. He's not sure as to the cause, but he did see something odd. He's not willing to explain in his letter, but he mentions to you to be careful in the coming nights.
Okay.
That's the
So
second
basically, he's gonna bring our new friend company to us for us to train. She says she's quite spirited, maybe a bit arrogant, but we will see. And he says for us to be careful for the coming nights, because there's loads of Turkish troops amassing outside the walls and in Syria. So, but they've been dying like in odd ways, but he didn't want to explain it on the letter. Anywho, he says be careful in the coming nights.
Well, there's a whole war going on, and strange fairy ghouls. Alright. Did it say a date when she's coming?
No.
No,
Alright,
this
let's
one is
hope
simply
that the next-
dated for 2 weeks ago that he would have written this.
Yeah, the parchment is from 2 weeks ago.
Let's hope the last one then is even more recent. I will read it
Okay.
over your shoulder this time.
All right, thank you.
As you look over Serafino's shoulder as he quickly undoes the seal and opens it, it doesn't have much written on it. It simply says, "I'm almost there. Have wine and food ready. Meet you at the manor." And it's dated for last night.
Oh, the manor. We need to get there.
Okay, we need to get there. What the hell do we do with that Yala?
I guess we can't do anything, can we? Or do you want to go to the manor, bring food and wine, and I go to the library?
Get a cart. Bring him somehow.
Shh, you're dead.
Me.
hard to bring Adjala out of the city, as they're probably gonna be a bit suspicious if you bring a corpse along the wall, like across the gate. Maybe if you tie him to a horse and just ride, so it looks like he's riding by himself. Maybe.
With closed eyes.
Oh.
Everything seems very risky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that the Tremere, do you think they can help? I mean, because technically we're still doing all this because we're working for the Tremere. Find out what happened in that to Duke, and I try to sell it as much as possible that we were there trying to find the Duke. That's why we were in that alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we could go and say Adjala was hurt. Maybe they can help us.
I don't know. You think it will work? Or would it be better to just not tell anyone and investigate by ourselves?
I mean, the Duke thing is our official thing. The other one, as you found out, is not important anymore. We are safe on that drug when time passes.
Mm-hmm. I actually don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what's the best way. I mean, I would say that there are three things you have to choose. Either try to smuggle Adjala out and bring him to the manor. 2, leave him where he is and hope he wakes up soon. Or 3, trying to contact the Tremere and see if they can do anything again to help with Torpor.
Can we actually get a cart from the potter, put Adjala in there, and cover him with pot on top of a cloth?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the thing is, as soon as you have wagons, I wonder if they check the transport to see if they are like removing goods they want to tax it or something.
That was my only way to bring him to the manor.
You could certainly go investigate to see if such an activity is happening.
If people are checking for the wagons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If the guards are searching the wagons at all.
Alright.
Okay. Do you want to get Adjala ready and I'll go see if they're searching the wagons? So you
Alright.
make this quick?
Sure, let's do that. Then come over to
Alright.
her home then. I need to
Alright.
speak to her again. I'm so hungry as well. I just don't. I could.
Let me see if I can find Buck Truck while I'm looking for the inspection.
I wouldn't.
I mean, it's an easy meal.
Well, if you're offering, I will not say no to blood.
Yeah. All right.
She looks a
Let me
bit
go see.
twitchy when she says that. You can see that she acts a bit weird, like she's under distress.
Yeah, it's the hunger. All right. Let's go.
All right. So Serafino, knowing Buck Truck, he's either at a bar schmoozing or out doing reconnaissance work for you. And this time of the week, I mean, it's a Saturday. He'd probably be at the slaughter docks.
Okay. So I'll go for the slaughter docks to send him to Cecilia and then go investigate.
Quickly make your way that way and go ahead and check as the door to the slaughter docks is already open, and there are several patrons who are going in and out of the establishment, and it's not long before you hear the sound of a familiar voice sounding as if it's doing its best to start up a gambling frenzy upstairs. Yeah, that's Buck Truck.
All right, let's go grab him.
quickly make your way up the stairs, and you can see out of the 6 tables that are set up here, all of them are filled, and quickly it looks like they moved most of the chairs out of the way, slammed the tables together, and have set up one of the largest games of blackjack ever being played. And Bucktruck looks to be the dealer, the house. You can see the usual individual who takes over for the tavern that would act as the house is kind of off to the side, scoffing a little bit as Bucktruck quickly shuffles cards and tries his best to schmooze people out of money. But it's not long before you catch his eye and make a wave to him, and he gives you a quaint little smile, nods his head, finishes up that hand, and then pats the usual individual on the shoulder, who he quickly pushes along to fill his spot before making his way over to you. Hey, boss, how you doing?
Hey, Bucktruck.
What's up?
I really
How can
need
I
your
help you? Yeah, absolutely.
Cecilia is dying for some company, and she's also very, very hungry. If you wouldn't mind helping her.
Okay. I thought you meant, right. No, not that kind of company. Okay, great. Yeah. All right. No, that I can do. I was going to say it's been a busy week. All right. Anyways,
she'll update you with what's been going on, and I need to go see if the guards are checking the carts for merchandise.
the guards are checking the carts for.
Yeah.
Why would they be checking the carts?
We need to smuggle something in a pottery cart.
I got a friend at the Damascus Gate if you want to take that one.
Yeah, that would be good. All right, then come with me.
Let me go help Cecilia, and then maybe meet me outside with the cart and stuff.
Okay.
Whatever you're moving, don't have it obvious.
Okay, well then I can come with you then. If you have a friend, that's fine.
Oh.
I don't
Okay,
need
now
to
I'm
invest.
confused. All right. So, is this like a Fang thing? Is it?
It's a Fang thing.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then you said you were coming along. Sometimes you got to clarify, boss. Sometimes you got to clarify. All right.
All right, I'll update you once we get to Cecile. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You two make your way downstairs, and you quickly can see Cecilia, who is nervously looking about as she smells the various different sweet scents of each individual, and you can smell somebody's bleeding in here. You don't know who, but it's coming from upstairs, and it is
She walks
sweet.
out then.
Yeah.
That is too tempting.
But you watch as Serafino and Bucktruck make their way out, and they look around for a bit, and Serafino spots you, but Bucktruck kind of glazes his eyes over you for a moment, not recognizing you in your rose apparel, at least not this particular outfit. And he goes, so where is she, boss?
Right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I can see it. Not doing the, glitzy razzle-dazzle this time. Gotcha. All right.
So, good news, Cecilia. Bucktruck has a friend at the Damascus Gate, so we want to check.
Yeah.
Right. Have anyone been feeding from you the last week?
I mean, not in that way, so you're good.
All right, good.
How do you want to do this? I mean,
Let's just go into that.
usually it goes to okay. All right, yeah, rough and dirty. Let's go. He walks off into the nearby alleyway.
Try not to kill him, please. He's really helpful.
When you come into the alleyway, be like, okay, so you need to be at least enough conscious to be able to speak to this friend of yours.
Yeah. And he's already unbuttoning the 3 buttons that he has on his shirt. Slowly begins to reveal his neck. Yeah. Just do your thing, but try not to hurt me.
I will try not to hurt you. And then she will slowly try to control herself and then do a bite. and start drinking.
Absolutely. As you begin to approach him and your fangs extend, you watch as he kind of closes his eyes and begins looking towards the sky subconsciously. And very lightly, he thinks that he's saying it quiet enough so that you might not be able to hear it. However, you hear the continuous repeated phrase of, just think of her bosom, just think of her bosom, just think of her bosom. And then you bite.
Oh,
Uh,
awkward. Well, the blood
Buck Truck is
is
an
the
awkward
thing I
fun.
want. So.
Fun guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Cecilia will try to drink 2 blood then, because he needs to be conscious enough to walk around.
Well, what blood pool is Cecilia currently sitting at? That is the question.
Yeah, I am actually currently at 6, but my total blood pool is 20, so I am like 1/4.
You are dangerously low, though.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to need you. Let's see here. What is your virtues? Not your courage, but the other two.
Conviction and instinct.
instinct.
I know.
All right. Okay. I'm not going to be cruel, especially since we're dealing with another member's ghoul here. And what I will do is I'm going to have you make me a conviction instinct roll. Actually, no. Just a straight permanent willpower roll. Difficulty 7. I need at least 2 successes.
Difficulty 7. Oh my god. Alright. No, not temporary. Permanent.
Just on the cusp.
Oh.
You bite into him. And while it is thicker than a mortal's blood normally is, simply because you know this individual is ghouled, you realize, he's a bit sturdier. It's still sweet, ungodly sweet right now. And it has an allure to it, that you're not used to. Because normally Cecilia is very smart about her feeding practices. And as you drink, you slip away at that second dot, and for but a moment you think you're going to lose yourself in drinking from him, and you might pull far more than you intend. However, a single thought comes to mind. What would I be if I betrayed a friend's trust? And with that, your eyes open, your fangs retract. You lick the wound without even thinking, and quickly lap up what little blood there is left on your lips. You've managed to only pull 2 blood, which is not going to send him to a hospital.
She looks away from him into the wall and almost puts a hand on the wall. You can still walk, right?
He kind of rubs his neck a little bit. It was good, yeah. No, yeah, I can still walk. All right.
All right, that will.
All right, thank you.
All right, yeah, anytime. Wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. All right. So,
Is the Jala ready?
I don't know. In that time, have you run back to?
No, that would be time for that.
Where would Serafino have gone in that time if he tried to get Najala ready?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly thought that Cecilia had done it when I went to look for Buck Truck.
Okay.
As much as I want to, I'm not getting into that cart myself.
No,
I think
not
Cecilia
anytime
followed you
soon.
to the slaughter docks because of the promise of blood soon was a bit more strong for her than fixing Adiala's cart.
So
let's get Jala ready.
Yeah, let's go there.
So
You
we need to
guys-
find the car.
do you want to just go straight to Eleanor's place and see if she has a card available?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys make your way there, and tucked off in the alleyway You don't see a cart, but you do see a large wheelbarrow.
Oh no.
Can a person fit in it?
Their legs would hang out the side, but yes.
Oh god.
Well, I can't move the legs temporarily.
Torpor,
You
why am I
could do
worried
that.
about my dignity?
Yes, you could technically do that. Absolutely.
Or is it possible to tuck him away in a fetal position?
Well, if no one wants to shift any skin and bone, I would need from you, I would say, strength athletics to force Ajala to go into a proper fetal position that wouldn't have anything poking out the sides of this wheelbarrow.
Please don't add
Difficulty?
any additional aggravated damage, thank you very
Let's
much.
look if there is any cart nearby which we can borrow. We'll
Yeah.
try to look for a stable.
You
Okay.
know where a stable is. There's one not too far from here. It's about 2 blocks down. And if you wish, you can quickly make your way over there. And as you do, it's a familiar looking one. You can already see the marks in the wooden post at the entrance to the stable, indicating someone trying to keep records but not doing a very good job.
Oh,
So I can see it's sloppy job, so things can
Mhm.
disappear.
Absolutely.
isn't this the stable where we left our horses?
Yes, yes,
No,
it is.
Oh, yeah, it was further away, I thought.
I remember because of the sloppy.
It was further away. All right, I will look inside. Is there any wagons?
Looking on the inside, you can see that there are quite a few horses that are currently stabled, including presumably your own. And far off in the back right corner of the stables, covered by a few wool tarps, you can see a line of 3 carts.
Ooh.
They're just
Is
sitting
there
Let me
anyone
there.
in the table?
Is there
let me-
another? Sorry.
Is there anyone in the stables?
yeah.
Not that you see immediately. No one like pops out and says, "Hey, how you doing?" Or anything like that. However, go ahead and make me perception alertness, both of you.
Okay. What's the difficulty? 6?
Difficulty 6, yeah. Okay, waiting for one from Cecilia.
Yeah. And I have one extra because
Of heightened senses, yeah. All right, 2 successes. Serafino, you don't catch this, but Cecilia, you do hear the sound of someone currently stepping around in the back alleyway. And they're lightly whistling to themselves, and a few words come out, and they say, just going along, doing the thing, da-da-da-da-da. That sounds like the same guy who runs the stable. He's back there in the back alley for some reason.
Okay, let me get his attention. Hey.
no, I get his attention, and
Okay.
you can choose one of the carts and take one of the
Oh.
horse.
I see where you're going. Okay. I'll go check the cards.
Okay, you go check the carts. Meanwhile, Cecilia, you go ahead and you head into that back alleyway, and you can see the stable boy. He's currently got his back turned to you, and it looks like he's relieving himself on the side of the stable building.
I try to sneak up on him.
All
Is
right.
he alone, by the way?
He is
Someone else-
alone. There's no one else in the alleyway with him currently. Go ahead and make for me dexterity and stealth.
I will actually use a willpower for this because I'm
Sure.
very hungry.
Sure. Oh, I see what you're going for here. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what she said. No, I can do this. You stay back.
He's still
You've got this
hungry.
covered. He does not hear you at all, as he's doing his business, and you creep right up behind him, and he's kind of like shaking back and forth, as if he's like following the lyrics of a song in his head.
And I just from behind, put my fangs into his neck as I cover his mouth.
Absolutely. All right. This time you don't have to make a check. This time you simply need to tell me how many would you like to take.
He's a young person, right?
He is.
small?
You're not sure if he's in his very early 20s or his late teens. He kind of sits in between.
All right. And I know that if you take 4, there's a risk of health, but normally not.
If
Or
you
if
take
it's 3.
4, there is a chance that he could perish. If you take 3, he'll be out for a long time.
Yeah, she will take 3 then.
Okay.
She will aim for that.
You take 3 points of blood. Go ahead and mark that off on your character sheet. As your fangs retract, and without much effort, you just watch as he slumps over and unfortunately lands in a pool of liquid below him, face first, unconscious.
Yeah. And then she will take and place him, so she will lick the wound, of course. Then she takes out the whiskey bottle that she has had for a long time, and she pours some whiskey on him. And then
Okay.
she walks away.
This guy's so losing his job.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Okay.
Fantastic. And you dump the whole thing?
No, I'm keeping the whiskey. Someone came by and stole the whiskey from him. Maybe
Okay.
when he fell asleep. Maybe he was drinking with someone. Who knows?
All right, fantastic. You dump just enough so that he gets that air of whiskey. All right. This poor guy. All right. Well, with your job complete, we turn back to Serafino inside the stable. How would you like to
So
go about inspecting these cards?
Let me just see what. Let me see which cards are they. Are they all the same size, same color? I don't know.
Different colors, different woods. Some of them look to be more heavily used than the others. One has long, dried, caked mud on its tracks. Another looks relatively fresh and new. And the final one looks like it's taken a bit of damage, but it's still serviceable.
I'll ask Cecilia, but I think the damaged one would be a bit better, in my opinion.
Okay. So you go ahead and you look over them and make me a perception alertness. Let's see if you might hear the falling of an individual in the back alleyway. Three successes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You hear the sound of something falling into a wet puddle coming from the back of the stables. And a few moments later, you hear Cecilia's footsteps as she makes her way back into the stables.
Hi.
Hi.
You feeling better?
A lot better.
Did
How
you?
did you
Did you?
thought about it?
did you
He had
not-
drunk too much whiskey.
Yeah, I heard him fall. Did you? Did you kill him?
Of course not. You don't kill thinking beings.
Okay. So I was thinking we can take this one that is heavily used, and we'll go by like less suspiciously, or
Alright.
we can take this one that looks kind of new.
Take the old one.
Old one. Okay. Let's do this.
All right. You take the slightly banged up one, but still serviceable. You go ahead and pull it out and go ahead and set it up to, I'm assuming both of your horses, or do you want to hook up all three? Because there are reins available in the stables for either 2-horse pull, 1-horse pull, or a 4-horse pull, but you could just leave the 4th slot empty.
I think a 2-horse pull is enough.
2-horse pull. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you get your personal horses, or do you get perhaps some of the other horses in the stable?
Personal.
Actually, our own, I think. We
Yeah.
don't want to make it look like someone came here and stole. Just someone accidentally took the wrong card.
All right,
Yeah,
fantastic.
True.
You go ahead and hook up the horses. I won't make you roll for that. And you begin making your way out and quickly down the street, unless you have anything else to do, to Eleanor.
Yes.
No.
Exactly.
Let's go to Eleanor.
You find yourself in front of her house not long after, and it's quiet. The lights are still on, and you can see the shadow of an individual quickly moving back and forth inside.
Someone inside?
Yeah, Eleanor. Let's see if she demands more answers now when she has time to think.
Oh,
Now I'm not as... I can speak more freely with her now. I'm not on the verge of killing her.
up to you.
And she knocks on the door. Lightly this time, not in a rushed, hard manner.
You both watch as the shadow within stops moving for a moment. For eventually it begins to approach the door, and you hear it lightly creak open, and Eleanor's eyes peer from inside before, finally, the door opens fully, and she doesn't say a word, as presumably you step inside.
Step inside. And then say in a very friendly manner, like, is everything fine with him?
As fine as one can be. And she gives you a nervous smile.
Good. Well, we have decided to relocate him to another place, hopefully to wake him up faster.
I'm not going to pretend to know how you would do that, nor am I going to ask questions.
That
Okay,
is good.
thank you. We'll tell you everything when we get back. So, and best thing would be for Ajala to tell you himself, which is what we're gonna try to. But anyways, thank you for your help, and we'll see you soon.
You can see that she is very much nervous around Cecilia, but as you begin, sort of speaking in an air of kindness to her, Serafino, you notice that she's a little taken aback in sort of a manner of, why are you being friendly?
Well,
That's the look she gives.
that's good.
Yeah, that's still on the table.
Oh yeah, he's still on the table. You can see she's layered over a couple of the blankets that she had that were over her bed previously, now lay over him. You can see that she has a bucket next to the table, and it's filled with water that's slightly steaming, and there is a damp rag on top of Ajala's head.
Okay. So we got blankets and rags. Let's just put them in the cart. See if we can cure them.
Perfect. And,
the whole
once
thing
more,
of a
sorry
Jala and
for
the
my-
rug.
Sorry for my behavior before. I was a bit hectic. I just been under attack, and I was not in the mood for friendly conversations. I am usually much more friendly, she says as she's picking up Adjala.
Yes, please accept our apologies. We're usually kinder than we look.
Serafino, make me charisma and empathy.
Sure.
Difficulty 7. You know what? Actually, no. Difficulty 8.
After what Cecilia pulled.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually
I
0.
wasn't going to
No.
say this is going to
Minus
be a
1.
botch, but it actually is.
Whew.
This
All
is
right.
a botch.
Yeah, you immediately get this look of, I don't fucking believe you, get out of my house. But she doesn't say anything.
Okay, let's just go.
Quickly whisk away Ajala's body. I'm assuming you take the blankets and the damp cloth with you.
Yeah,
True.
just to cover him up a bit. And when I am at the door, just leaving before she closes it, I will just say, oh, and by the way, still tell no one, or I will still make the promise true. Have a nice day. And then she walks to the wagon.
She stares at you for a few moments as you make your way down the stairs and towards where you have placed the cart and horses before closing the door behind you. And because you have heightened senses, you do hear her give a sigh of relief on the other side of the door.
All right.
But with that, you quickly load up Ajala in the cart. And we'll say that you take a few of the pottery pieces in order to put over the top of Ajala. Make me a dexterity performance to see how well you can place these so that it doesn't look like it's just sitting over a very odd rough surface that's oddly in the shape of a body.
I'm now imagining Jala in a rug with a pot over his head.
Pretty much. 2 successes, yeah. That's essentially what happens. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but if anyone gets close to the cart and looks down in it, they can tell slightly from the outlines of what's going on here. But someone would have to get next to the cart.
We're not gonna drop him off the top of the bridge and just pretend he never existed.
Thank you.
With that, you make your way towards the Damascus Gate, buck truck in tow. And as you get there, he quickly rushes off ahead of you towards one of the guards, says a few words, points in your general direction before make me perception alertness. Difficulty 6. Cecilia, you notice nothing suspicious. It just looks like suspicious. It just looks like he's talking to this guard and points over at you guys. Serafino, make me that roll. 2 successes. Do you have a specialty?
No, not
Do you
yet.
have heightened senses?
Yes. No. That's Jala.
Okay.
That's Jala.
All right, fantastic. So yeah, with the 2 successes, you barely notice something small passes from Buck Truck's hand into the guard's hand, and almost effortlessly and like the smoothest drug transaction you've ever seen in Hollywood.
No,
He
okay.
passes off some money to this guard, and without question, you guys are let out of the gate, and you take the road straight out of the gate towards the manor. And just as you arrive at the gates of the manor, that is where we are going to take our break. And we will be right back with the newest member of the coterie. See you soon, folks.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Children of the Cup. I am your DMGM Storyteller, and we are ready for the players to finally all meet up as you make your way to the main gatehouse of the manor. Ajala in the cart behind the two of you. The light rattling coming from behind the cart as the pot wobbles slightly on top of his head. But without a word exchanged, and from your viewpoint, barely even a glance over the wall, you hear the sound of the portcullis being raised and the two large oak doors to the gatehouse being opened as you are once again brought to a beautiful oasis in the desert as you go onto the cobbled path of the manor. And you can quickly see that there is a rush of servants. Yes, go ahead.
Just before we got to the gate, Celia would have stopped the wagon and she would have swapped clothes to her purple dress.
Okay, fantastic.
Someone man wants to make a first impression. Ooh.
Does Serafino
Shush,
change
that man.
clothes?
No.
No?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, odd question, but I gotta ask it. Do either of you go into the back cart, uncover Ajala, and change his clothes?
No.
All right.
We
Just
could
had to
bring
make
in
sure.
butt naked.
You could.
That would be
You could.
hilarious.
Feel free.
All right. So, with now your beautiful purple dress adorned, you make your way within the manor. You can see that there's a flurry of activity inside as servants move about from the servants' quarters to the stables. Of course, the guards here do their usual lineup to greet you, bowing as you go by. And you can see that the manor itself is lit up by several various different lanterns and torches, and few of the courtyard braziers have even been lit as you are led inside. And quickly they take the reins of your cart and allow you to get off.
Is there anyone that knows about us, that are meeting us, that are taking the reins?
The captain of the
Or,
guard,
okay.
who you know knows about you, is standing there at the ready.
Yeah, then she would approach the captain of the guard. Is Bartholomew? I can't say his name.
Bartholomew?
Bartholomew. Is he here?
Yes, madam, he is. He's recently made his way with a new individual to the main dining hall.
All right. We have a small issue, and I'm hoping if you can help with that.
Certainly. Do I need other individuals to come, or is this something I can handle personally?
In the cart.
He looks in the cart and leans over the side. I see. Then disposal can be handled if you need it.
Not disposal. This is unfortunately Ajala, and he
Oh.
needs to.
Oh no. Oh. And you can see a few of the other guards who aren't really in the know. As he says, "Oh no," look over, and he says, "No, go back to work as you were." As a matter of fact, go to the walls, make sure the perimeter is secured, and also hey, go get Mistress Vanessa. And you watch as one of the guards quickly dashes off towards the servants' quarters. I can, if you'll give me a few moments, I'll get him in through the back door without any of the other servants knowing.
That would be great.
In the meantime, please if you want us to hold your weapons or other things, we can do that for you. And also have a pleasant stay.
Yeah, I left
Thank you.
all my weaponry in the wagon. Just take care.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you like to go straight to the dining hall to meet the master, or perhaps you'd like to go somewhere else in order to meet your friend? We'll be taking him through the back kitchen and towards the study, unless you wish otherwise.
That
Yeah, we
sounds
need to
good.
meet the master, yeah.
Yeah, we just go and meet the master right away.
Very well. And with that, you leave them as a few of the maids make their way out of the servants' quarter and rush over to the captain of the guard, and they begin to speak as you continue your way up the cobbled path before finally entering in through the beautiful oak door that's been steel reinforced. And you, as you open the door, you can immediately smell, cooked chicken and wine wafting through the air, as well as the faintest smell of blood. Fresh. You make your way through the various different hallways in the grand entrance, and eventually the doors to the dining hall are before you. Are there any last-minute preparations you'd like to make yourself more presentable before you step inside?
My hair a bit and stuff, like doing
Absolutely.
small things.
Yeah. If you had to make a
Take a
kit,
regal
you would have brought it
posture.
out. Yeah. And as soon as you're finished adjusting yourself, the doors open, and you would quickly see an individual you don't recognize. If you would like to introduce yourself, our newest coterie member.
Yes. Standing there is a woman. She is somewhat short. She seems to be on the younger side, and she looks, East Asian. Her appearance is a bit rough. Like she isn't very feminine in how she looks and how she dresses, and she seems to be somewhat sturdy build. And she has long hair that is braided in long braids. And yeah, that is how she looks.
So you can see this individual standing off to, or possibly even sitting, to one side of the dining room. There are, of course, plates and a few glasses of both wine and blood that are set out in front of those plates near her. And over by the grand fireplace at the far end of the dining hall, you can see Bartholomew. He's currently dressed down in a bit of a smoking jacket and cloak situation, wrapped up heavily with a large silver chalice in hand, sort of staring into the fire, and it looked like he was just sort of within his own headspace when you initially walked in. But as the doors do open and he does hear that, he quickly turns on his heels with a smile, says, welcome, Cecilia, Serafino.
Hi, Bartholomew.
Is Ajala not going to be able to make it tonight?
He
Let's
is
say
here.
he partially made it.
Yeah. There had been an accident earlier this evening. Let's say it. Well, he got into a scuffle and he's currently in torpor. I will not sugarcoat it.
Interesting. Please close the doors. Sit. And with that, he kind of makes his way back towards the main dining table itself. He doesn't actually sit at the end of the dining table like the head of a family or anything. He actually makes his way down the dining table itself, closer to all of you. And he says, well, that is unfortunate. We will see what we can do for him. And hopefully this incident is not too severe, and he will hopefully wake up soon. Speaking of which, have you attempted to feed him at all?
Not yet. I mean, it was just a couple of hours ago.
Oh, very recent. I was going to say, I had recently heard very good news that you were all safe, sound, and unmolested, but apparently my news is old.
Well, they have gone well. It has been the last couple of days that have had some resistance, and yeah, well.
You notice his eyes are constantly fluttering over the two of you, studying every detail in your faces and in the way that you hold yourselves now. As it's quite clear on his face, he notices that you've changed, and there's a slight smile to his face. as he looks over the two of you, but he doesn't say anything as he approaches, taking a quick sip from his glass or chalice. Well, as I said in my letters, which I hope you got, I sent Canis out to deliver them.
Yes.
I would have gotten them to you earlier, but I didn't really have the time. Please, darling, introduce yourself to... well, this is Serafino, and he points over to Serafino. Serafino, go ahead and describe yourself.
Hi, I'm Serafino. You'll most likely find me either in a library or about with Ajala and Cecilia.
What does Serafino actually look like, though?
Oh, Serafino now is gorgeous. Looks like a nobleman from the from the French country. Let me see. I think I actually put. Let me see how I look afterwards.
Gorgeous in how many points?
I mean, let me see. I don't remember actually, but I know I've put it somewhere. Let me get my notes.
While you're looking up those notes, what would Serafino be wearing?
Oh, I was still wearing that kind of armor we had.
Okay, so you would see him in a hauberk, a short hauberk that doesn't go down fully to the knees. Probably a gambeson underneath. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. And aside from that,
Then-
just some normal pants, and also, of course, his weapons are adorning him as well.
I don't have any weapons though. I just have a dagger.
Don't! I thought you had more than just a dagger. I thought you had a bow.
The bow is in the cart.
Oh, okay. You only brought the dagger inside. Fantastic.
Yeah, here it is. I remember. I knew I posted it somewhere. Light brown hair, bit of a beard, green eyes, and slightly darker than usual colored skin.
Fantastic. Beside him, you would watch as Bartholomew points over to the lady with him and says, "This is the beauty known as Cecilia."
Yes, Cecilia of Montfort, she says, and does a curtsy. And she has brown, long hair that is a bit curvy. And then she has blue eyes. And she has this really expensive looking purple noble outfit. It doesn't look like a ball gown, but it looks like something that you normally would take to festivities or something like that. And it's clearly looking very expensive. But also, when you look at her face, it is something that is slightly amiss. She is gorgeous, but like how all people are, they have small things that are a little different. No one is symmetrical. But she seems almost too symmetrical. Like you can't find anything that is different on either side. Which gives a slight unease. But she smiles widely and tries, and you can see that she sometimes like plays a little with her hair and almost like she's showing herself.
Yeah. I walk up to them and well, you are both looking very polished.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Chimeg.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And you can see that when she stands up, she takes off a bow that she had next to her, and also a spear, and she seems to be quite heavily armed, and also has armor that is a thicker cloth armor.
Okay.
Does the bow look expensive? Or like finely made, or does it look like does it look custom made, or does it look like a normal armory bow?
It is a short bow, and it probably looks well used. And Probably nothing like super fancy. Probably something that was built for being used, and
Much more functional than just pretty.
yes, definitely.
Are you an archer? Or do you only use it for hunting?
I dabble.
Interesting.
I'm sure the three of you will have a lot of time to get to know one another and discover each other's personalities. In the meantime, though, I think it's prudent that we deal with the situation. I assume that the servants have already brought him to my study?
Yes.
Yes.
He's being brought there as you speak.
Shamek, if you wish to stay here and continue to drink your fill and eat, that is acceptable. I must attend to one of my students. And he gives you a light smile before making his way towards the double doors of the dining hall.
Do you need any help?
Well, and he sort of stops on his heels and turns. I'm sure this would be a valuable learning lesson if all of you would follow me.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And he goes ahead and he continues along his walk, opening the doors and leaving them open as he makes his way through and quickly begins going down the halls with no real regard for your ability to keep up, and makes his way towards his study. Who follows and who stays? All right. Cecilia is definitely following.
Follow.
I'm following
Okay.
too.
So the three of you all follow behind. I'm probably going to say this wrong a couple of times. Chimeg?
Chimeg.
Chimeg. Chimeg, you quickly watch as Bartholomew disappears around a corner. And for a moment, your thoughts are, well, crap, I'm going to lose him if I don't catch up. But you watch as the other two are just very evenly pacing themselves, and you realize, I could probably just follow them. So they take you through a twisting amount of corridors and up a staircase to a beautifully decorated door made of a very heavily aged but beautifully maintained oak door. And as Cecilia opens it, you would notice Bartholomew is already inside of the study, making his way around around his table in a couple of semicircles, where you would see Ajala. And Ajala, if you would like to describe the way that you look, currently unconscious on a table.
I'm guessing that he's indeed on the table. So on that table, you see a African youth, black skin, probably looking or staring lifelessly at the ceiling at this moment with two different colored eyes, a blue one and a green one. He's also, but unlike the other two, more of a natural beauty. He wasn't modified. And he's dressed, if I'm not mistaken, in a composite armor, which is currently probably ripped and stitched, well, sort of
Damaged,
sprung
definitely
to
damaged.
springs, basically around arms and waist, of being smashed together,
I believe
around
someone
which
said crushed like a tomato earlier. And, yeah.
As
Apt
in,
description.
it looks like that armor has seen better days, although it's not that old. And probably the black cloak and the clothing around it is stained with blood at this time. He's a tall fellow, especially for not looking that old. Besides that, yeah, he's currently, I think he probably still has a bit of a bag hanging around his shoulders and a hand axe somewhere in an unsheathed longsword. But I do think that the spear is probably still in the alleyway.
I'd be able to reasonably say that Cecilia brought that along with you, unless Cecilia would just leave it.
I would take it if it was close by. It depends.
Yeah, it would have been close by. Absolutely.
Then it's probably standing somewhere off in a corner as well.
Yeah, it's sitting on the cart outside.
Yep, same as the bow in that case. But yeah, he also seems to be spear in the corner, hatchet, longsword, possibly a bow outside, but we don't know that yet at this time. But he also seems rather armored, so that might be a familiar thing to you. But yeah, that's with the very short shaven hair. That would be Ajala.
Right. So you see this individual laid out across the table, taking up much of it, in fact, and you can see that the books and pieces of parchment that were on the table previously have been neatly stacked beside that. Cecilia, you had something to say?
Yeah, Cecilia will just take the word and say, I did resettle his bones and things. He was a bit crushed by an opponent.
Interesting.
Speaking
Crush.
of that, does that help me with any healing?
Roll me a 1d100 high or low.
D100? I'm gonna say
call
high.
or low. All right. Yes. That will...
Very high.
We will say that with that... it's going to help you out when you're trying to heal this aggravated damage that you're going to have to heal.
Okay.
And I'll get into the specifics of that in a moment. So, you watch as Bartholomew paces back and forth around the table and says, well, you've done quite a good job, I can see. And he begins to quickly point out. And you can see at this point, he's not using his finger to point. Instead, he looks like he's pulled a rod that you would normally use to spur on a horse. He has pulled that out from behind the desk and begins to poke lightly at Ajala where some of the wounds are left on his body from where his bones, well, imploded. You've done a good job, I will admit. However, one of the finer keys to this is we're going to need blood, quite a bit of it. And with any hope, you'll recover much quicker. How... I'm not easily able to tell. How damaged was he before you?
Not terribly damaged, but a lot of bones were sticking out, and, well, enough to place him in that state, but not much more. It was no, like, he doesn't miss muscles or stuff like that. Nothing was ripped away from the body.
Good, good. And was he damaged after going unconscious?
No, he went unconscious in a straight. Well, I guess slightly more than needed because he was, hugged very forcefully by another kindred. So I don't know how much more it went.
Hugged the torpor.
Yes, you were hugged to torpor. That leads me to believe that you faced someone with a very powerful potence.
It seemed like that, yes. He seemed very much stronger than a normal kindred, so I guess he was old.
Well, in that case...
And Nosferatu, I believe.
A Nosferatu?
I
That would
believe
explain
so.
a
At
lot.
least someone with leprosy.
Very well. Well, let's get on with this, shall we? And you watch as, without even a hesitation, a knife appears from underneath Bartholomew's robe, and he quickly cuts from the inside of his elbow all the way down to his wrist and begins to squeeze his arm very tightly over the top of Ajala's mouth. Using his fingers to lightly open the mouth and letting blood begin to freely flow into it. So, usually, I would prefer to use mortal's blood, but I don't exactly want to kill any of my servants. So this will have to do. And you watch as he just begins to force blood point after blood point after blood point into Ajala's gullet, until eventually he stops, and you slowly watch the wound begin to close on his wrist.
Alright, does he need blood from us as well?
Well, I've given him enough, at least to heal what I assume he has taken. and Ajala, you will have received 3 blood points. But due to a special thing with Bartholomew's blood, that actually goes up to 6.
All right. Ooh, wow. Also, quickly gonna double check something.
If that brings you to full, it doesn't overfill.
Okay, no, but no, I don't have the digestion thing.
Are you unbondable?
I am unbondable.
Okay, so you do not take a level 1 bond from consuming Bartholomew's blood. However, I would like you to go ahead and roll me. Well, first, go ahead and spend a point of willpower, and then roll me a d100.
Spending a point of willpower, rolling a d100. Wait.
Calling high or low.
I'm gonna risk high again.
All right. So, to let you know what's going to happen, you are going to come to consciousness. However, you are then immediately going to rapidly spend 5 blood points. And your stamina is going to temporarily be down by 1 dot.
Alright,
And it'll be that way until your next feeding.
Alright.
And you can go ahead and take away that point of aggravated damage. And the only reason you got that D100 roll is because somebody set your bones back in place. Otherwise, we'd have to wait until tomorrow.
So that leaves me with a lot of lethal damage, I believe.
Yes, it does. Which, you can attempt to heal on your own when you feel it's safe to do so. However, with that, a few moments later, you watch as the blood slowly drains from Ajala's mouth and goes down his gullet until it's just, deeply colored red mouth left over, and his chest slowly begins to move. Until finally his eyes open.
Is that all that is needed to give the blood?
In this particular instance, it was. However, in future cases, if I am not around, and if a vampire of a lower generation is not around, which could very well be the case in the future, you're going to need to more than likely kill a mortal in order to quickly revive your companion, in order to take a high amount of blood. Luckily, my blood is far more potent than all of you. Also, and I would think it to be rare, one of you would have perhaps well, they're very rare, but from time to time I've seen members of Ajala's clan carry around, I guess you could say, trinkets of souls. That could also be used to substitute, of course, at the price of the soul.
I feel like total shit.
Yes, there you are, dear boy. Good to see you.
Where is that bastard without the shirt? He says as he tries to get up from the table very painfully.
As you begin to get up from the table painfully, your vision begins to slowly focus as you see a number of blurry figures around them. Of course, you recognize the outline of Cecilia and Serafino. However, you see 2 other figures in the room with you, and as they come into focus, you see a woman you don't recognize and Bartholomew standing over you.
Bartholomew, you're back?
Yes, I am back. Indeed. Only for a short time, I'm afraid. I won't be able to stay very long.
What?
And go ahead and make me perception alertness, Serafino, Cecilia, and I've already Chimeg. I'm gonna keep Chimeg.
Chimeg.
Yes. One day I'll get it right.
It's okay. I have to think a moment as well.
4 successes, Cecilia. Yeah, go ahead and make me perception alertness. Difficulty 6. So Cecilia, you've got 4 successes, so you would see this.
So perception.
Serafino, you would see this with 2 successes.
Let's see if I did that right.
Unfortunately, you don't notice this.
I also have a
Oh, do you have a specialty?
specialization if that
Ooh.
goes.
What is your specialization?
Eye for details.
Eye for details. That would certainly apply. So that goes up to 2 successes. You would also notice. And what the 3 of you notice is you watch as Bartholomew moves his hand behind his back and quickly holds up a finger to the 3 of you in a motion to say, just wait for a moment. And he quickly makes his way towards Ajala, places his hand on Ajala's shoulder and says, "My boy, you've been out for roughly a century. We were quite worried about you."
Wait, what?
It was very unfortunate, and he immediately begins to have a smile creep across his face.
How did the war go? As in, did we
The war is over.
As in, we won, right? Else we wouldn't be here.
Well, you see... No, I'm messing with you.
Wait, but
Hila starts laughing.
oh,
Meg is also laughing.
oh God, I need a drink.
Yes, you do. Either way, Ajala, it's good to see you again. Please, this is Chimek. She will be joining your coterie. As unfortunately I have some business to attend to, and where I'm going, it's kind of dangerous to take a new child.
I am so sorry for meeting you, well, like this, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, at least
don't
you're not naked.
apologize.
We thought about it as a joke.
Wait 1 second, and he reaches to his side, and he sort of pulls on the metal of his armor, and you can sort of hear like the armor that was probably a piece of it sticking into his hip somewhere, and he just pulled it out. Like, well, I'm yeah. I might need a change of
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that, I think I'm gonna make my way back to the dining hall. Have fun catching up, you 3. And he pats you on the shoulder, Ajala. And as he turns, he says, "My bad, 4." And he makes his way out of the study.
What happened?
I don't know. I was at the library.
Yeah, well, the opponent, he crushed you to unconsciousness, and I decided it was better to retrieve you and leave than to continue that fight. He is still kicking about somewhere.
That little bare-chested, ugly motherfucker. He did what?
He was a lot I mean, let's say that you had about 7 bones that were sticking out of your body after he had hugged you. I had to replace them all.
To talking to that guy.
Yeah.
Wait, he was crushed and you survived it?
Apparently, as in I remember being stuck, as in he grabbed me, and it hurt a lot, but...
He was very strong.
This is
And
amazing.
you are very young to
Oh.
be picking up fights like that. I thought you'd know better.
Yeah, Cecilia was going to talk to him, she said, so I was like, I'll give it time, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I'm in trouble, please attack as well, as in you should have attacked, and I was like, what happened there?
I mean, I was talking, he didn't want to talk, and fighting was presumed, and I just didn't... Don't turn this on me, we were only there because of your fuck up in the alleyway in the start way. And To
You are
talk
right.
about that, it is solved. We don't need to do that anymore.
Are you also joking right now, like Bartholomew was, or are you being serious?
I'm being serious. It's gonna fade, and we are not gonna be eaten from the inside by spiders.
That is great news. Also,
Yeah. Pros and cons
Looking
of the library.
looking at Chi Meg, this is probably a lot right now. I'm sorry about that,
It's very interesting though.
to say the least. Also,
How new are
I've
you?
decided I'm going to. Do I still have my spear?
It's in the
Why
bag.
are you thinking about weapons? You almost died.
Because
can
of
buy
that
new
whole
ones.
thing that just happened, I've hereby decided I'm going to name my spear Diplomacy. So whenever Cecilia ever says again, we're going to try diplomacy first, I know what to do.
Do you
Yeah,
think that
Unless you
situation
find
will become
another one that's
better?
worse.
Sorry.
I'm just curious, Yala. Do you think that the situation in the alleyway would have gone better if you started by attacking him?
No. But I did really think you were trying to. I don't know. I don't know what you were doing, to be fair. Then again, I've never been the most
I
insightful.
tried to convince him to leave more information for us, but he just wanted to fight.
Yeah. That
I mean-
much I've noticed.
I mean, you can't expect me to talk down any unreasonable kindred we meet.
If that was the case. And this might sound weird, but I'm eager to meet him again sometime.
Well,
Probably with
Also,
advantage.
something maybe more important now. Chimek, was it?
Yes.
How old are you in kindred years? How long have you been around?
Well, I think it's coming up to 2 months now.
Oh, look
Alright.
at Serafina, and you called me young.
Yes.
Yeah.
You probably competed against someone that's at least 400 years old.
But don't
Maybe.
worry about it. I tend to, well, land on my feet.
It's good to hear. And Jala will start removing his cloak basically to sort of pry the armor off.
We'll put you up to speed, but we'll teach you everything we know so far. And anything Bartholomew is also a great teacher.
Speaking of up to speed, he said I was out for a century. How long was I out?
I think one night.
4 hours.
4 hours. That's it.
I came back from the library. Cecilia grabbed me and said, "This happened." And I told her about the curse that was actually a drug, not a curse.
Wait.
And we grabbed you and met Bartholomew.
That was a drug.
Very
Yes.
strange drug with some mad.
So basically,
ritual.
you consume some Cassiad blood, and it is a drug. It spreads through your body, and the tattoo might have been an amplifier that's done through blood rituals. This is why you had the mark transferred from you to Cecilia and also Dream. But in due time, it will fade away, like any drug.
By the look of Ajala's face, you've already lost him.
That's fine. It'll fade away. That's what you need to know.
That's all I need to know. It will fade away. Do I happen to know? Quick question to the storyteller. Do I happen to know if Bartholomew keeps any strong liquor somewhere here in his office?
Wits investigation.
So while I'm listening to this, and after removing the armor, I'll be passively looking for that. I had one here. Wits alertness. I'm gonna change that to investigation. Whoop whoop whoop.
Difficulty
Does
6.
the heightened senses apply?
Sure. We'll say heightened senses apply. You try and sniff out any alcohol in the room. For success, you quickly find a very well-aged whiskey, about I'd say 60-year-old whiskey, sitting in his desk.
Would he mind? I wonder.
Probably. Maybe take this instead. And she would bring out the
Whiskey
somewhat
bottle.
poured out whiskey bottle.
I'll accept the bottle of Cecilia and put the old bottle back.
Well, the man just saved your life.
And
I
I'll
wouldn't drink
just
his
start-
liquor.
I'll just start chugging it.
I will remove it from my inventory then. It looks
Fantastic.
displeased but doesn't stop you.
There's probably like a tiny bit left in the bottle when he stops chugging, and he'll look at it and be like, "Want it back?"
You can also thank Buck Truck because he's the reason we actually smuggled a body through the gates of Jerusalem.
Sure, I will. Thank you.
Oh well, I tried to find a bridge to dump you off it, but
Very few bridges in Jerusalem, I believe.
there's actually none. It was a joke. But okay. You're good. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, nice meeting you, Chi Meg. I'll catch up with you later, I guess, and you guys as well. Listen, I'm gonna go for a change of clothes. Oh, dining hall after this?
Yes.
Let's meet in the dining hall.
Right. And Ajala just sort of... How do you call that?
Stumbles?
Stumbles out of the room, yeah. Still in pain.
So, Chi-Meg, what do you do for fun? She says as she starts leaving the room towards the ball. No. I've lost the word. Whatever room we are heading
Everybody's
towards.
losing words.
The dining hall. dining hall.
That's the word.
Yeah.
For fun. Well, I suppose I hunt, I ride, I fight when I can.
I see.
Sounds like a female version of Ajala to me.
Somewhat like that, yes. It seems he would probably like those interests too.
Just don't kill yourself like him, please.
No, I'd prefer not to.
All right, let's go for a drink. I could use a drink, and I bet Cecilia would too.
All right.
Yes.
Fantastic.
What about the two of you?
I like books and magic.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
think
particularly. I'm burly, but I don't have much stamina. But I can be dangerous in other ways.
He likes books and magic and books.
The books found out about the curse. That was the truck.
It was very good. I know what do I like. I like archery as well. Well, maybe not, but I do like hunting. But just the shooting bow at the stationary target is also fun. And I guess I like languages. I taught Adjala how to speak Latin.
French, I
And-
believe.
French, sorry. Yeah, French. Don't tell him that. He thinks he knows Latin.
Oh,
I'm just kidding, of course. I think he has figured it out. And I guess I like medicine as well. To, know about the body and things like that.
Are you a healer then?
Hmm. I guess I am. She says and smile.
I just imagine a wicked smile crawls across Cecilia's face as she gives that slight giggle.
I'll,
She make
I
looks very surprised about that reaction, like she doesn't really know how to handle that giggle.
I'm not a healer, but I can do some potions and brews. And I'm a herbalist.
Oh,
I have a battle wound specialty in medicine.
I see. So you're like a shaman then?
Not particularly. Just some things I picked up in my former life.
Interesting.
Do you only have an armor, an outfit, or do you have something more when you're not fighting?
No casual clothes.
Okay.
I suppose I could take off the armor.
Oh, that's not what I meant. Oh, can you
Cecilia was
make
expecting a dress.
What did Cecilia say?
I guess I will introduce you to makeup later.
I'm familiar with the concept.
I bet you are.
Okay.
The three of you make your way to the dining hall. And you can see that Bartholomew has taken back up sort of his slow pace back and forth in front of the fireplace. He's nursing a new chalice, or at least freshly refilled chalice, and he kind of gives you all his smiles. You make your way back in. Says, "Well, hopefully you've gotten a little acquainted with one another."
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yes, into form.
Quick question.
Now we were going. Go.
Sorry.
I was saying we were going to share a drink together.
Well. How progressive of you all. Chimeg, you had something that you wanted to ask?
Yeah, out of game. I was
Oh,
wondering.
yes.
Sorry. If my ghoul would be allowed in the house.
They would be in the servants'
Stay
quarters.
outside. Sorry.
They would be in the servants' quarter currently. You would know. But if you request them, Bartholomew has told you that they're more than welcome to come within the manor.
All
You
right.
say that, but my ghoul saved you.
I was about to say, Canis is allowed in here, but dogs are supposed to stay outside. But yeah, it's terrible.
Well,
show.
Canis fills a special circumstance. Canis is allowed where Canis is allowed.
She's definitely
It's
not a
pretty much
dog.
everywhere.
He's definitely not a dog. I also had a bit of an out of character question: is do we know which servants we're allowed to feed from and which not in the manor?
Yes, you would explicitly know which one. Any servants that are particularly inside of the manor are within the know. Any servants who more are on the staff and maintain themselves within the servants' quarters and in some of the training yards and things like that, those are the ones who are usually, a few of them are in the know, but not many.
If I happen to come across any on the way to my room or on the way from my room to the dining hall, I would basically ask if they are able currently, as in have they been fed from recently. If not, I'm going to actually indulge for 2 points if at all possible.
Yeah, we will say that you do run into one of the servants as she is currently in the process of making a new room for Chimeg. You can see that she's moving some fresh linens into a room, and she's got a broom and dustpan set aside by the door as you run into her. And she says, "Hello, good sir. Welcome."
I hate to ask, but I'm sort of in the need.
I understand. Yes, I am available.
Thank you, and I'll just go in and take 2 points.
Okay. You go ahead and you take 2 points from her. She is very accepting and thanks you afterwards and wishes you a pleasant evening.
Thank you. And I'll go and remove the armor, do a change of clothes in the room. Then a quick question as to healing. For lethal damage, how much do I need to spend in order to heal that?
So for lethal damage, I gotta go.
One
bring
for
up
one.
my
1 for 1?
notes. Just double checking that. Yes, 1 for 1.
In that case, I'm
And
instantly gonna...
you can spend up to, I believe, your 7th generation, correct?
Yeah, 4 per turn, I believe.
Mhm.
So I'm instantly gonna spend 3 points and heal 3 of that lethal damage.
Okay. So we watch as you finish feeding and pull your fangs away, the wound being licked instinctively, and as she thanks you, and you begin to turn and make your way towards the dining hall, various wounds across your body slowly begin to heal and become as if nothing had ever happened in the first place, and we even hear the cracking and popping of some internals.
I'll focus hands and face first. Anything sticking out of clothing, that
Mhm.
it just doesn't look that damaged anymore. And after I've changed, I'll also be on my way to the dining hall.
What does Ajala change into now that he has doffed his armor?
Probably linen black robes in this case, since his armor is just broken.
Absolutely. And be sure to actually mark that on your character sheet that you're going to need that to get that repaired. If you don't get it repaired, it will act as a class lower.
Right. Where the hell is this? Oh. I'm gonna put it as broken.
While that goes on. How are my players doing for time? I know it's pretty late where you guys are.
Open for anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Have time.
It's fine for an hour more at least.
Okay. Serafino?
45 minutes?
Okay. We'll call it an even 30. How about that?
Cool.
All right. So, once again, you gather within the dining hall, and you can see that Ajala has switched into more comfortable clothing that is not so much damaged or bloodied. But as Bartholomew sort of paces back and forth and sipping away at his chalice, he says, "Well, I don't know how quickly my letters arrived to you. I apologize if they happen to arrive in rapid order, but I sent them to Canis's address as quickly as I could."
We
Canis
got
has an address?
3 letters today.
Oh, I figured that might happen, yes. Due to the border incidents that have been going on in Syria, the mail system has been rather slow lately, especially with sending it down this way. However, I have heard that, that you have elected a leader of the Catholic group, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I wasn't fully filled in. I just know that you now have a leader, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, the important part is, I guess, the most important part is why we have elected a leader. And that's because a particular person in the Muslim faction has decided to reclaim Jerusalem, and it will be a war probably soon. Well, there will be a war. And we are trying to find a banner, I guess, on the Catholic side to unite under. And it
Interesting.
was voted to be the Lioness. One named Lucius was
Lioness.
also a candidate.
Lucius, interesting candidate. The lioness. You would not happen to be speaking of, what was her name? Kawia?
Yeah.
Koya El Gaduba, yes.
Yes. Huh. Member of the Salubri. Interesting.
Yes.
Also very warlike. In particular, a member of their warrior caste. That is
Speaking of
interesting.
that war, it makes me wonder if it's smart to stay around Jerusalem.
Well,
That is an option. Move away.
that is certainly an option. I'm not entirely sure where you would go. I would hope you would at least tell me, so I could keep track, and send letters in the future. I myself, of course, am hunting for our great sire. As I mentioned, I've heard rumors that he is currently within the Fatimid Caliph, currently in Egypt. I believe in the region of Alexandria is the last I heard reports.
Are they reliable rumors? Do you think they're correct?
Well, the rumors come from other children who happen to be in Alexandria, so reliable to that extent. However, the news of it is quite old. The news of him being there is at least 3 months old at this point, and I have not received word back, despite my inquiries. Then again, as you say, my letters have only just arrived today to you, so I imagine that they have not quite arrived at their destination there.
Might be so. Well, it was a bit surprising to learn that we fell in right into a war. I mean, it was like after 1 week.
I do apologize about that.
You know.
This particular region is one of much strife among the mortals, and also apparently amongst the kindred now. I can't say I'm entirely surprised. You said there was an individual among the Muslim Council who has stepped up.
Yes. Must double check my notes. Was his name Hakim? That sounds wrong.
His name was Hakim, but which Hakim?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's well, his name is apparently Hakim. I don't think it's the Hakim, just a Hakim.
Just a
But
Hakim.
I am unsure. The Muslim seems to know who it is anyway, and they seem to. Well, there's not been really any conversation. Everything is divided very quickly, and meetings stopped.
You wouldn't happen to be speaking of Count Al-Hakim the Lizard, would you?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Maybe his nickname was the Lizard.
Yes. Interesting.
Yes, Al Hakim the Lizard. Yes.
Interesting. I believe he is he's a member of the Plague Brides. Interestingly enough.
That doesn't sound comforting.
It's not.
Yes.
And,
Well, there's been the conflict, and I guess been trying to get the Jewish faction to decide on which one they want to help.
and how have his meetings with Alexis been? After all, Alexis is the only, well, technically one of the dragons within the city, but he's particularly of the Dracon family, and would hold the most sway amongst the Jewish community here.
I think he is a bit impressed about our interference in the voting, or not interference. I asked some open questions regarding how the Jewish faction would benefit from this alliance, and it seems that has swayed some positive. But I don't think it's decided yet.
Interesting.
He seems to give us information as well and see how we react to it. So he seems interested in our group.
That sounds like Alexis. Back when I first met him, they used to call him the Masterless Spy. And I do believe he is a practitioner of Nephilim, not necessarily Judaism, but he is half Jewish nonetheless.
You're a Nephilim.
Indeed.
I'll look at Serafino at this point and be like, what?
Yes.
So
Also,
is that the only thing that has been going on?
Other than that, I've gained access to Alexis's library, his private one.
Interesting.
when
Does he still have Lucius around?
Yes, I was wondering if you knew Lucius.
I have, on occasion, met that beast, and it is quite interesting. One of his earliest creations, I believe, when he was fairly new to the night. Dangerous, most certainly, but friendly, if given the right persuasion.
Yeah, I was wondering about the mark that he had carved on his nose, the small Star of David. Do you know what that is?
It's part of Alexis's practices, you could say. While
Okay.
Alexis is not a strict follower of all the tenets of the Judaism, he is of I guess you could say, a sect, being a member of the Nephilim. A very interesting sect to be that, but yes.
But yeah, I was looking for information, and he gladly granted me access. That was quite nice.
Gladly granted you access. Interesting. Usually he is very cautious with what he gives. So I would be careful. He may ask for something in return that you may not necessarily be able to pay back.
Okay, I actually asked him, and he asked for nothing for now.
Interesting.
It's the for now part that worries me.
I mean, I asked him directly, but he said he didn't want anything in return.
Jala's basically indulging in the background, by the way.
Absolutely.
When is he not?
Yeah, the question is indeed how many blood points can I basically steal from the banquet?
From the bank, you have to consume a lot of blood from this banquet in order to even get one. So I say, you've downed your 6th chalice, and you've just regained your 2nd point.
Okay.
Well, the other thing I guess that has happened is the negative part. Why Adiala was. Well, do you want to explain? I don't know.
Perhaps I should sit for this. And he goes ahead and he pulls up a chair. This time actually sitting at the head of the table with the fireplace behind him, which kind of gives him sort of a shadowy figure look. Then he crosses
I'm
his
just
leg over
waiting
the
for
other.
the red eyes to sort of shine up like...
They do, in fact. Not long after.
Jala will make an audible gulp on his last chalice at this point when he does that and be like, I might have fed outside of our territory and basically...
Would you care for me to explain that part?
Sorry?
Would you want me to explain that part?
Well, I
ask
do
in
think that
this
it
case?
sort of speaks for its own. I fed outside of the territory, pissed someone off. They went looking for me. Then someone disappeared. Now they asked us to look into the disappearance.
Rather
And
strange.
the Jala just starts drinking again at this point.
In sum, do you know anyone that has Khasiat blood?
Kassid, yes. I've met a few individuals over the years. None in Jerusalem, to my knowledge, unless that's changed.
Apparently, there's some here, and it might have been amplified with blood rituals.
And I assume this is the individual, and he looks at you, Ajala, with a very judging glare that you fed from.
Maybe.
Well, it's good to know that you're still of youth and do make the occasional issue happen. Perhaps this would be a good learning experience for your new friend.
Yeah, what I can tell you from this is this mistake that I made makes me really wish I had fed on our own territory or in the rack.
Very good. Those are the words I'd like to hear.
If you have a territory, why would you feed outside of it?
What's closer at hand? Yeah.
As you can see, because he cannot control himself.
Just glare at Serafino at this point. Are you little?
Well, this will be a valuable lesson to you, Anjala. Don't always listen to your impulses. They may steer you into more trouble than they're worth.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I suppose that
Cecilia,
if you get away from it, get away with it, then it's yours anyway.
We're still in the progress of getting away with it.
now, Cecilia, you do look dashing as of late. Tell me, how is it that how comfortable were you with coming into your powers? I know that I left you with only a modicum of knowledge that you really needed, as I am not a member of the bloodline that you are, but I find it interesting that it looks as though you have progressed quite rapidly.
Well, I had before he addressed her, she looked very uncomfortable, like she was thinking about things. But now she like shines up and everything looks perfect again. I had some issues, but I found the key. I know how to do it, and I seem to be able to do it reliably. Look what I did and she points over to Serafina. I mean,
yes, indeed.
he can walk around in town without being ashamed.
Not that
Or
I
without
was
distracting
ashamed,
Knight Templars or Sepulture Knights or other Inquisition.
but more comfortably and a lot prettier. Yes.
Interesting.
I think that I have found a good path, so I'm walking and experimenting some more with it, and I have some plans.
Very good. I will assume, since you have had conversations with Alexis, he has approached you, yes?
Yes, he has. I think that it's very close to a more, well, let's say one-on-one meeting with him soon, and I'm not 100% sure what that will entail, but I guess we will talk some more about our craft.
Then he indeed knows what you are.
Yes, I think he has figured that out. I haven't strictly said it, but I think it's obvious.
Possibly, in part due to the fact that you have indeed changed your appearance so drastically. Something that would normally take...
Mine.
Wait, and yours as well, Serafino, yes, indeed. Something that comes quite easily to them, but is much more difficult for a member of, say, the Tremere to pull off. And would take quite a bit of time.
Yeah. There is one Tremere in Jerusalem. Do you know her? Mara?
I do not know Mara personally, no. I knew her sire. How is she?
She seems scheming, I guess. She's going around talking to people. Talk to Adiala some.
Talk to Ajala. Interesting. Interesting choice. Did you, and he looks to you, Ajala, at this point, do you happen to know why she was interested in you?
Not entirely sure. I'll sort of look from the corner of my eyes at Serafino and sort of look back at Bartholomew, look back at Serafino. Something to do with not revealing myself to the Inquisition.
His brow furrows heavily when you say that.
Huh?
Not revealing yourself to the Inquisition. I'm sorry, you have me confused on that, if you'd like to explain.
Never mind, I guess. That problem is solved.
Okay. Well.
I'll continue drinking again, like an alcoholic with a control problem.
It's like bringing a crackhead to a party.
No,
That
worse,
happens when you
it's a
first
method.
crack the crackhead, quite literally.
Either way. I do apologize that I'm going to be leaving Chimeg with you all.
Oh, it's fine. We can always use new people.
I'm quite sure she'll be a pleasure to have around. So,
She has been, and he looks over at you, interesting to ride with over the past month or so. She takes up lessons quickly, but also is very quick to question what I do say.
That is the way you learn?
Well, for some, yes. For
she's already
Serafino,
sounds smarter than me.
She reminds me of Ajala.
in some ways, yes. In some ways, yes. In some ways, very much no.
Hopefully with a little less dying.
We've hardly met and you're already holding that over me. I might actually end up liking you even more.
What's you saying?
Thanks.
What bloodline are you a part of?
She would have been told, right?
Yes, Bartholomew would have over the first week or so would have studied you, asked you questions, and worked out with you which bloodline particularly you are. And he would have told you the basics of that bloodline as well.
All right. Well, I believe I'm an Anda.
You might care to know what it is. And I studied.
Intelligence occult for
I'm
all
not
of you.
good at that.
Difficulty 6.
Intelligence.
Actually,
of-
difficulty 7. It's on the rare side.
Intelligence occult.
I'm
Mhm.
special.
Do I get any bonus because I studied clans?
I would allow that. Yeah, I'd allow you to drop the difficulty back down to 6.
7 for me, right?
Mm-hmm. So Cecilia and Ajala, you recognize the name, sort of. You're not entirely familiar with the clan. The most that you do know is that it is sort of a far eastern offshoot of Gangrels. But you're not entirely knowledgeable about what exactly that entails.
A version of the Gangrel clan?
Yes, I believe so.
I have no idea. I'm tired.
What's the difference between a normal Gangrel and Anda?
I would say the
Well-
main difference. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll probably better if you say.
I would say the main difference
Well, I know
is
exactly.
generally how they react to the world around them. Whereas the Gangrel are very much in tune with their beast and thus have control issues. The Anda don't have that as much. It's much more controlled, as much as a Gangrel can, living with their beast. But the Anda do have a tendency to be very heavily tuned towards traveling in packs. Whether that is traveling with packs of mortals or traveling with packs of their own kind or even kindred. It's extremely rare for them to travel by themselves. And I believe that is due to perhaps a mental change that happens through the process of becoming embraced.
All right. Then she
No,
will
he
say,
stopped talking, by the way. I've got this thing that there's like this uncomfortable cracking sound coming from Ajala as one of his bones resets. Sorry.
I knew it.
yeah.
Crackhead.
Oh, come on.
well, she will answer, well, if I understand it correctly, we are a better version of them. More
Bartholomew
control.
just gives a smile when she says that.
Yeah, don't let them hear that too much.
Fair enough. And well, we're of the herd. We understand the importance of, well, being part of the herd, I suppose. Is that it? And she'll look to Patermal.
Well said within your own words. I think that would very much fit the description.
Very interesting.
Either way, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a lot of catching up all of you should have over the next coming nights, and various things that you can teach her that I have not had the time to. I've only really been able to tell her about her clan, a few other Canaanites here and there, and what it means to be a difference between a Canaanite and a Child of the Cup. The fact that she should preferably hide this unless she is in the company of those who know.
Oh, yeah, about that. Cecilia can help you with that.
With what?
Yeah.
Well,
well,
and I'll lower that lip and show that it's no longer there.
oh,
Interesting. So you have moved the brand.
yes. To hide it.
Fascinating.
She's good at what she does.
Hmm. Well, I
I
still don't
that-
really understand why we're hiding it, but
I suggest your
So-
left buttock.
I'll do as I told.
Well, so we hide. Well, I thought it was good to hide it in case another kindred maybe found out that there are children of the cup and wanted to see who the newcomers are and looked for the mark. That was my thought about it.
And the way that Bartholomew would have explained it to you is he would have said it's best to hide the knowledge that you are a child of the cup and that you, in fact, exist, period, from kindred, simply because he thinks it would, him and others like him think that it would lead very quickly to jealousy, which could in turn lead to violence against you around every corner because you can walk in daylight, they can't.
Yeah.
I guess it's nothing wrong with moving the mark, right, Bartholomew?
No, not at all. Not at all. I wish I had thought of it
Yeah.
earlier.
I can move your mark if you want. If you still have it.
He kind of gives a smile. Perhaps one day, but unfortunately I won't have the time. At least not tonight.
Oh, I had a question. Why does Canis have a collar? That intrigued me.
That was a gift from me. My apologies.
The crucifix was also a gift from you. The wooden cross with a necklace.
Yes. I did send that to all of you.
Okay, because after
you
the
all
situation with
receive them?
Ajala, I haven't seen my room yet. But after the situation with Ajala, I thought it was an idol to hurt us.
No. No, I had, run across a jewelsmith, a jeweler, I should say, in my travels to find your new coterie member, and thought that the silver necklaces were quite cute. And hearing that, in fact, you were now members of the Christian group, I decided to go ahead and add the wooden cross on. And gave it a little bee to remind you of me before, sending that off with my parchments and also the collar with my parchments, which I'm assuming she received all at once and quickly donned.
Cecilia will bring out the cross and be, yeah, it's very lovely.
Thank you. By the way, I unfortunately must retire as I'm quite tired after tonight's events. Have fun. And with that, Bartholomew uncrosses his legs, stands, and gives a light bow to all of you before making his way out of the dining hall. And with that, as the four of you stand there in the dining hall, wondering who's going to speak next, we will call this episode of Children of the Cup to a close. And we will see you guys next time. Adios!
Okay.
Everyone.